All right, we are here with Victoria Glaskett. This queen has managed to make so many leaps and bounds and changes starting this program. She's from Napa, California, and is a busy professional career woman. Thanks for chatting with me today, Victoria.
Of course, Nancy. Thanks for having
I
me.
I'm always bragging about, my women and my queens, and I always make people think that, anything's kind of possible. So
Yeah.
let's just kind of start with, what was the aha moment that you said, you know what, I need to start making changes for myself and I need a coach?
Yeah. Well, I think I stalked you for a while. I was a friend on Facebook for a while, and I was just watching, a lot of I had a sort of a friend of a friend who went through the program with you and was watching her amazing results, right? And then sort of seeing the other work that you were doing with women. And, I think the aha was really realizing, like, if not now, when? I talked to my mom who's in her late 70s, going to be 80 this year, and we were talking the other day about a dress for her birthday. And she said, "Oh, I'll buy myself a dress when I lose 5 more pounds." And I'm like, if I'm still talking about losing 5 more pounds when I'm 80 years old, I'm going to be really mad at myself. So,
I,
so I think that was sort of my aha, was like, if I don't do it now, if I don't like take the time to, take care of myself and get the body that I've always wanted and feel great in my skin. We're not getting any younger. It's only going to get harder. And so why not, buckle down? And I realized, the accountability of having a coach and was important to me and was going to make a difference in terms of me being able to hit my results and the goals I
so
have.
was it more that, like, obviously you didn't know what you didn't know, that you were like, I need to elevate and take this to the next level?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. It was, I feel like I was always dieting for an event, to say to myself, oh, I've got a wedding or I've got a vacation, and losing and gaining the same 5, pounds or whatever, and not really making meaningful changes. And I said, I obviously haven't been able to do it on my own. The greatest athletes in the world still have coaches. And, as someone who's really, I feel like, sort of has it together in their life, sometimes you think you have all the answers. And it's just having that humility to say, you know what? There's people that know more than I do out there on these topics, and why not take advantage of that expertise, to actually make real, meaningful change.
And you said it perfectly. Like, even with my like photo shoot and getting ready, I hired a coach because I'm like, I need to be accountable to someone, because then I'll be like, oh, I can just have this, right? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that extra
yeah.
accountability really does help. So what was you like, aside from the yo-yo dieting? I loved what you said about that, because you were like, if I'm my mother at 80 years old, you're worrying about 5 pounds. And it's so true. So was it like the yo-yo dieting that was your biggest struggle?
Yeah, I think, I would read things about, oh, as you're older, your metabolism just slows down further and further. And you start looking at, my fitness pound, going, really? 900 calories? That's what I'll need to eat to lose a pound or two a week? Like, who can live like that? I'm busy. It takes like energy for me to get through my day. And I was active, which was great before I started working with you. So it's like I have workouts and home and things like that. And I'm going, there's no way, that's not sustainable. Just what, am I supposed to be miserable and hungry for the rest of my life?
Ain't nobody want that. That's all. I couldn't even do it for sure. And that's
No,
what I was like,
no,
I wouldn't put anybody through what I wouldn't want to go through. So
right.
what would you say are the most significant changes, like whether it be mentally or physically, since
Yeah.
joining our community and this coaching program with me?
Honestly, I think one of the biggest, most significant changes has been my relationship with food and eating.
Mm.
I feel like it's so much more healthful, if that's a word. I just made one up. It's so much healthier, right? That I think about food differently, as like fuel for my body and fuel for my workouts. And I recognize, and you make this point a lot, like, it's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. And I think I've always thought before I had to be perfect. So the minute I had something that was quote unquote bad, suddenly I was like, okay, I blew it for today. Let's just eat whatever, right? And I think just my relationship with food is so much healthier. And I'm not naive enough to think 2 months in or 2.5 months in of working with you that I've like flipped the switch on 50 years of behavior. But I do recognize that I just think about it differently and I'm behaving differently. And it's making the choices and decisions actually quite easy in the course of the day.
And it's just managing it because life is never going to go away. And you said it perfectly. Like I used to be a victim to that. It's like I wasn't perfect. And then
Yeah.
the sabotage starts, right? And it's
Right.
like, again, I talk about what is it that, okay, be grateful for what you can do instead of punishing yourself constantly, right?
Right.
It's like a mental F because we're constantly like getting mad at ourselves. But then how do we
Yeah.
expect to move forward, right? So that
Yeah.
relationship is so important. And I think, I mean, the biggest thing I see with you is that you're able to do this with your demanding career and you're on a plane every week. So tell us about,
Yeah.
how you've been able to sustain your goals doing that.
Right. Well, I mean, I was really nervous about that. And I had talked to you about that to say, travel used to sort of be the death of my like eating well and exercising and that kind of thing because you're in different time zones. And, to your point, what is like normal and predictable at home gets totally thrown out the window on the road.
Mm.
And so, I mean, I just have to share that you were so great to say, I said, Nancy, I need some strategies like for traveling on the road. And, you gave me some great ideas and ways to be able to manage being on the road. And again, not about being perfect, about being consistent. And so I did all those things, went to the Whole Foods when I arrived in, my city and had stuff in my hotel room and my mini blender and making my protein shakes. And and again, I felt so in control when before I just felt like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm at the airport. I'm just going to sort of grab that pizza and hop on the plane and I'll get back to it next week when I'm back home kind of thing. Having those strategies for how to manage it. But I will tell you, I think too, your tough love means a lot as well. It's like not letting me off the hook if I said, oh, I didn't get the workouts in this week because I was traveling. It's like, yeah, so what? Get up earlier. It's like,
Because I know you're
um,
better. I know you
yeah,
can, right? So,
yeah,
and we all fall into that, right? But it's a
yeah.
tough love.
Yep. Yep. So that accountability piece, right? Having that in place. I mean, so that's how did I do it? I worked the strategies that, that you shared with me. And look, here's the thing. It's like you put the program out there, but end of day, like we have to do the work, right? And so I'm super grateful that you hold me accountable to getting the work in, right?
Oh, and I get such gratitude when I see the success. It's like, it's not even because I'm trying to come down on someone, it's because I want you to be able to do this when you're
Yeah.
traveling next month and the month after
Yeah.
that, and it's like I get so happy. Don't you feel the stress has just come off of you
Yes.
naturally
Yes.
because you're like, I'm in my hotel room. Okay, I'll just go to the grocery store. I can go to Whole Foods or I have a
Yeah.
protein bar. So you're not like, "Rrr, I gotta go to the pizza place," right? Like,
Yeah.
and that's like the monster coming out because you're hangry now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a mindset and just controlling your environment more than
That's
anything.
right.
And
That's
then you
right.
don't feel like crap after, right? Like you're like,
No.
oh, especially when you're traveling, right? So now it's just like another day. You make it happen, you make it work, right? It's almost like
Yep.
an unexpected pregnancy. You're gonna make it work.
I'll tell you the other thing, and I feel like probably all my colleagues are like sick of hearing me talk about it, but I also kind of tell everybody, right? Because you don't want to go to like the client dinner or the work dinner, and people are like, why aren't you getting, enjoying the appetizers or the steak or whatever? And I kind of joke about it, and I'm on this like, program, and here's how I'm eating, and this is what I'm doing, and so when they see me order like the piece of chicken or no, no one, everyone's just like, that's great, so I do think letting your kind of community know about what you're doing, it's another form of accountability, is what it is.
100%. And it states those boundaries and expectations. So then they're looking at you like, oh, but you'll find too that they're curious at what you're doing because they
Oh
have
yeah,
an envy that they're like, oh, that's kind of cool that she has that willpower. I wish I
yeah,
had it. So
yeah,
like they're secretly looking at your plate like, oh, what are you having?
yeah. It's like, yeah, that you feel having that discipline. There's something great and satisfying about that.
Because you're in control of you, your actions, and that is like makes you feel boss, right?
Yeah, and yeah, it really does.
It does.
It
It
really does.
does. Well, thank you. And I can't wait to share the rest of your journey. On that note, because you are boss, my traveling mama. But yeah, so it's only been like less than 3 months. We're
I
already
know.
dropping weight. Like you're almost down, I think, 10 pounds, 8 pounds. Yeah. And like just wait till the next few more months come and you're going to see a brand new you, of course. So thank you. We're going to keep following your journey.
I love it. Thanks, Nancy.
All right.
Couldn't do
Take
without
care.
you. Bye bye.